unplug it and see if it'll. Yeah, it's showing. Record it like that, we can just not have that.
Now check it.
Have it plugged in, but they're not gonna be able to hear very well.
It's not live at all, but they just don't make.
I thought somebody said it was working a while ago.
It was.
It was, okay, so it's just totally went off.
Just since I've had to log back in. The show is live recording.
I thought somebody said it was working a while ago. It was, okay. Mine's picking up audio.
How about now?
I think there's a delay in it. Mine's picking up audio. It sounds like it's got a delay in it, but I mean, there's audio there. I don't know what's causing the delay in it. So do we want to move on, or?
It does have a little bit of a delay, don't it?
I don't like my voice on recording. Get this bid open here. This one is from Pierce. And it's for $1,442,326.
Can you repeat that, Lori?
$1,442,326.
Thank you.
And it is, I was trying to see if it give the actual year of it. It just says Enforcer, 107-foot ladder, and then it gives us stock number. I don't see a year on it, so I'm assuming, Tim, do you know what year this thing's supposed to be? 25, 24, 23? I don't.
You can send him a text and ask him.
It won't be done until 2025, will it?
That's what it was first time.
Yeah. So if I get it done, that's what year model is, isn't it, 25?
It would, you would think that they had 23 chassis right now.
2025.
25.
So that's what he said, 2025?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't see that anywhere here on the,
The Quint Billy now have access, like, does it have a water tank
And all
on it?
those 200 pages, Lori, you didn't see that?
500 gallons.
you
Wonder what this
think it
new
would be
outlook
on that
look-
very first
what it-
page under the
capacity be on
description,
it?
but I didn't see anything there.
How much water does this truck carry, Timmy?
500 gallons.
That's the same, so. Okay.
It's actually tall enough to where we can set up a tower flat zone and still reach the hospital parking lot. The one we got now, we can't. 75 foot.
You say this one was 104 feet? Is that-
107.
107.
7.
So the operating height, the operating height is over 75 feet.
And Tim, you said that you plan on rolling this one first out,
Yes.
just within,
It'll actually take place of engine 60 degrees, we call it.
Tim, do you care to step up to the mic so Because people probably in the audience probably can't hear you from back there, sorry, and you'll have to turn that mic on, I don't think it's on.
This truck will take place of the 1988 Pierce truck, which is 30-something years old. The plant will actually take place of two trucks, itself and this engine. The engine I'm talking about will be put in reserve, called out for special, like, training and, in case it ever needs to be rolled out, like on a factory or something,
Yeah.
big fire.
It'd still be usable though?
Still be usable,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Tim, will you have to do much maintenance, keeping it in reserve? Will the maintenance cost be pretty minimal
No.
by doing that?
It don't have no electronics on it whatsoever, so there wouldn't be a whole lot of upkeep on it.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions for Tim as far as the truck, use of it and,
No, I'll give you all a little background. Timmy, you can back me up. This truck helps our ISO rating. And you know what the ISO rating, it's insurance premiums for the citizens of Leitchfield. And to keep it, the lower we get, the lower the premiums. Right now, we're a 4.
Yeah, or four.
And we had been a 5 for a long time. And we got this truck and did some changes and got us down to a 4. That it's not great for us because we don't draw as much money on premiums, but it helps all the constituents out by having lower premiums. It's not a great big deal, but it's money they save.
And that's on homeowners.
That's
It's
homeowners.
every citizen's homeowner's policy in Litchfield.
Yes. Yes, and I think within 5 miles, Timmy, is it
Yes.
work within 5 miles? 5 miles of the station. So it's a real advantage for people that's outside the city also. So that's why we added to the fleet, which we've had one for a ladder truck or something that always helped us with ISO ratings to keep us low.
is there any chance that we could bump up to the next level ISO rating?
We can try.
But
We
that-
always try.
But down, yeah, down, yeah.
There's a lot to do with,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the
Is there?
4, it took us a long time.
We was,
Big
one
money.
point is major on ISO rating.
Yeah.
When we done our last ISO rating, we was 1 point away from going back to a 5.
Really?
So,
Okay.
and factories tend to look at, what class we are.
Right.
Sometimes. So,
Give me ten. I think you get into 3, you get into full-time fireman, 24/7,
Yeah.
365 days a year. You know, you just got a lot of expense to add on
Okay.
that gets you there.
Okay.
I had the same questions, Harold.
Okay. So, I guess the question is, guys, have you had the time to think about it? I know we just opened the bid, but we kind of knew what monies we were looking at before that, just from examples, but do we want to accept this bid? Do we want to table it and look at it a little further? What direction do you guys?
I would like to see how we're gonna pay for it. What monies we're gonna use for where, or finance it, or bond, whatever we have to do to, I mean, how we gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can accept the bid, and I guess we can always turn it down, but
Yeah.
how are we gonna, how we gonna determine, do you have any ideas, Tim, on how we're gonna pay for it, or how we're gonna use it, or?
maybe a grant writer. Beth Bishop she's wrote to in the past for us, and that's what she does.
So do you think you can maintain what you got until she gets it written, or is that something that you need?
We can't even get the parts for the Quint we got now.
No, I understand.
We got the shop, but we ain't got the connectors, I can't find them.
Do you have a grant that's available? Do you know of a grant that's available?
Not right now.
Say if we could find something.
We tried for one a couple of years ago, been a couple of years, hasn't it? And got turned down for it, it's
Twice.
$660,000.
We've tried twice.
Yeah, I think
Got a
she's
truck
wrote
grant.
2 for us,
Yeah.
Tim, and we've not
Yeah.
got either one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they give you pointers on what you need to do next time? I know a lot of grant, when they turn them down, that they'll give you a overview of.
If they do, I
Here's where
haven't
you're
seen
lacking,
that.
here's what you need, you ought to add to it, you ought to, I mean, I know a lot of our grants are that way, we get turned down, and
Yeah.
they'll send us a sheet.
Yeah, if they have, I haven't seen
There's a
anything.
FEMA grant, and there's a lot of competition
A
there.
lot of, yeah.
Bunch.
Well, we're supposed to meet, when are we supposed to have that call, Thursday?
It's
Lori?
Thursday, isn't it?
With Lincoln Trail about them actually doing our grant work for us. They work on a percentage, so they've got people that's all they do. So we're gonna see what he's got to say. Maybe it would save us some from hiring a grant writer or trying to piecemeal somebody together, to do it. Plus, like you see, they know the I's to dot, and T's to cross, so hopefully that'll work out.
There may be some new money too in Frankfurt. Frankfurt got some money from the feds under the Recovery Act.
Yeah.
And this would seem like right in line with what they're doling out.
Yeah,
I think it was House Bill 9, so
yeah.
Thursday could tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually asked him about House Bill 9 and that when I contacted him. But we're supposed to meet, to have a conference call with him Thursday.
So what's the better outlook for us, to accept it and then ask for the grant, or to table it and then ask
If
for?
you accept it, it locks the price in
Yeah.
from the day
Yeah,
forward.
but they're probably wanting money,
No, not until,
not till
till they
the
deliver it.
completion date.
Yeah, he said last meeting that we didn't have to put anything down.
That's the only truck they're building right now too, isn't it?
I make a motion that we accept it on the grounds Billy's talking about.
Well, just finding money to pay for, how we're gonna pay for
Right.
We're gonna have, in my mind, we're gonna have to get it one way or the other, it looks like.
it. I agree, but it's just how we going forward. It's
Yeah.
like we have all of them in the past, or we gonna do something different, or?
Can we accept the bid?
Do what?
I'm just asking, because I don't know how this really needs to work. So do we need to make a motion to accept the bid and then table the discussion for financing until we have better time to do that? Is that something we can do? And then once we accept the bid, then we're locked in at the price. He said we didn't have to pay anything until delivery.
Right.
And anything we pay in the meantime goes toward the purchase price, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think first and foremost, we need to, I guess by voting to accept the bid, we're voting that we agree that we need it. I mean, that's.
Gonna buy it.
Gonna buy it, right? So I mean,
Yep.
that's, to me, you either,
And I think Sabrina can help us on
Oh, yeah.
finding ways on, I mean, she's pretty sharp on
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
money right from different places.
Most everything we've done with the fire department has been through PNC. That, the one we just paid off last year and the one we're still paying on is through
Yeah, this is
PNC.
nothing new.
Right.
We finance a lot of them.
That seems to always be our best bet is PNC, but that doesn't mean this time it will
Yeah.
be.
but for our purposes, to make a motion then to accept the bid and then table the financial discussion until we have time to think and talk and look.
You have a little money to pay down on?
What's your fundraiser ideas, Tim?
No, I think Lori spent it all.
He's probably, once we take out the 20% on uniforms and stuff, you're probably down to about, what, maybe 120,000, maybe a little bit less than that
Right
in your,
now,
It was.
in your
two
county
things
dues.
y'all know.
And then we're getting, like I said, we're
278.
getting ready to send out bills in October, so, you're looking at adding another 140-some thousand back to that, so,
Well, and then we got a couple years on top of that to,
right.
Did you tell us one time you could give 50?
Huh?
Did you tell us one time you could give 50?
Maybe.
I'll take that.
We'll shine it up, can we sell it?
sounds like a definite.
We just had to see,
I'll take that.
I make a motion.
as long as nothing major comes up.
Okay, we've got a motion on.
No,
on the
no, wait
table.
just a minute.
Okay.
Can you finish your motion? Tell me what you're making a motion for.
What's your motion for?
Why don't we do this in two motions? First motion is to accept the bid.
Yeah, that,
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Next motion, I motion we table discussion of how we're gonna pay for this until we get more information on funding from bond issues and every other source we can find. And Tim, how much was Tim's 50,000 guaranteed? Yeah. So my motion is to table that financing part of it until we get more information.
I second motion.
Second by Clayton, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Go to work.
1.4, Tim, 2 years.
Come on. Throw one of them firefighter calendars or something.
Oh, Dr. Ray, would you like to address the council? Some? I saw you come in, yeah.
Not go about all this, but I'm just looking for an update on if we're going to do the spay and neuters at the Leitchfield Vet Clinics, who I'm with y'all. And if we're not, and my biggest concern for that is, I have another county approaching me. I've told them we could do a limited number. If we're not gonna do them for the city of Litchfield, then we're going whole hog the other direction. I just need to know what to do. I don't wanna overload myself or my staff.
Right.
And if we can provide a service to the community, then I'm all about it. And if we can't, then we'll do it for another county.
Did the girls, are they using your clinic some? They told me the other day they brought one for surgery and.
We did an interception for them.
From my understanding with the spay and neuters, when we went through this, what's it been, 2 or 3 months ago? They were gonna do the spay and neuters at Breckenridge County, I think, with, I can't remember the doctor's name, but, they were gonna try to bring surgeries,
I thought
Am I
those were
minding my way?
emergency surgery.
emergency and plus like, spay and neuter, stuff like that to you guys. She told me they'd been sending people over to you guys, and the city will actually pay for a spay or neuter if they have one. So, have you not been seeing any business from them like that?
I mean, not much, but I don't know. I watched the video of the meeting that night, but it's hard to hear and
Yeah,
what in the world's going on. And
Yeah.
I thought I saw a vote that things were coming our way, and that's why I was hesitant to do that.
yeah,
You can tell me if I'm wrong. Like I said, if it's not, that's fine.
yeah.
Well, their main concern, that not my thoughts. What I thought was the emergencies, like after night, after everybody's gone and they have an emergency, then you take them wherever you could get them. But the rest of them, I thought was supposed to go to,
No, I don't think that's, I think what we voted to do was they would take the spay and neuter, not spay and neuter, but the, spay and neuters
To Breckenridge County.
to Breckenridge County, and then like use you for like surgery stuff that, other stuff. And,
Okay.
we can go back and look,
I
but
was gonna say,
isn't that
I can go
correct
back
though?
through the minutes and.
I mean, just either way, I'm trying to plan things ahead. I don't want to tell y'all I can do something and then
And not be able to
Right.
do it.
go, hey, sorry, guys.
Okay,
right,
I don't want to leave you holding the bag, and at the same time, I don't want to twiddle my thumbs.
right.
And,
We can look that up tomorrow, can we, Lori, to see
Yes.
exactly what the
Yeah.
wording was? And as far as what I understood when they were here, asking that they planned on working with you as well as the other vet. So if they're doing something different than that, we can address it. But I went down and talked to her, it's been a few days ago, and she said they'd been sending a few things over there. And so,
I don't see everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the 2 other vets with me now, and
yeah.
I'm probably not even seeing a third of what comes through the doors.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't know everything that comes through by no means.
what we can do if
We're not doing any space neuters, I know that.
okay. What we can do is look that up and fax you a copy of it, or email you a copy of it, or something like that.
Did they beat us on the bid? Is that the deal?
We'd have to look at that too. I don't remember.
I can't.
There
I
was
can't
3
remember.
bids, and I
know there
can't
was
remember.
different stipulations, and I
Yeah.
don't recall what all of them
Yeah.
were.
Well, maybe I
I don't know,
wouldn't.
educate me here, all vets spay neuter.
At most that I know of, yeah.
I got you.
No, I think.
So it ain't just you that spay neuters, every dog that comes in there, all your vets.
Oh, yeah, all 3 of mine do, yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, you was explaining something to me the other day, maybe you'll explain it to them, about a dog or something that you had got in that the surgery didn't go right.
You're talking about the one at the shelter down here?
Yeah.
When Jessica was the director? Is that what you're talking
Yeah, I
about?
guess that's one.
Yeah, we had one that, had a great big scrotal hematoma. That means after you neuter them, they get a lot of fluid and blood pocket inside of the scrotum itself, and they bruise all up in there, and they look
Swell up.
nasty. They're nasty. Most of those die. I've never seen one have any severe complications at all. If that's the case you're talking about, and I know somebody down there tried to throw the blame over on us because the dog evidently died. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what did happen, but I'd be willing to bet my paycheck that it wasn't from that scrotal hematoma. I can tell you that. Those dogs don't die. That fluid just reabsorbs in the body, and they do great. You know, we do the best we can, and there ain't a cotton picking surgeon, human, animal, or otherwise, that can say everything 100% goes the way you want it to go. It don't happen.
No.
And, you know, I heard somebody, one of y'all, I don't even know who, had pictures, and that's fine. We have a few complications with our surgeries, and like I said, if you want to get down and get nitpicky, I could probably show you some nasty pictures I've seen. You know, dogs that have been done at other clinics. They're my friends. I'm not throwing them under the bus. I don't care who it is. I'm not that kind of guy. I can't stand here and tell you everything goes the way I want it to go. You know, it don't always happen.
No different in real life.
No, it ain't.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes. You know, if we can be criticized over one dog, then we're probably not the place for the city council to bring their pets to. That's all I can tell you. Everything in life's not hunky-dory. It ain't in my life.
Yeah. We'll look that up tomorrow, and if you can send me a fax number, or if you want it, email, however you want it, we can send it to
Either
you.
way's fine. I just, like I said, I'm trying to plan ahead. If we can take more from this other county, then we'll do that. And we can do work for y'all, that's better, in my opinion. We're local.
Yeah.
We spend our money here. We make our money here. I even live out of the county, and we spend the biggest majority of our money right here.
Yeah.
And that's just the way I think things need to be done, but
We'll-
I'm not
we'll-
on the council.
We'll look that paperwork up. We
Yeah, I'll
can-
look
we
that
can
up
s-
first
We
thing
can
in the
email it to all the
morning.
council too, and
Sounds
have
good.
it.
Thank you.
I'll do
Thank you
that.
for letting me.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you, Tom.
Is anyone else in the audience? Tammy, do you have anything? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think she's actually next for the
All right.
the pickleball.
Bid results for pickleball courts. Tammy, you got anything?
I do have something now. I think you all have this in your packet. Scotty's, when we did the bidding, had included fencing in it, and at that point, it was $82,935.94. However, he and I talked that day, and he said he was going to probably hire that part out of the fencing. So we talked a little bit more, and I said if he's going to do that, then could we get a different price without the fencing, and then maybe we could bid out the fencing ourselves and save money. So the first bid, I didn't have it added. What was it, what we added up to?
Current bid is 53,373.
Yes.
After we changed from tennis to pickleball.
Yeah.
Yes.
The tennis court bid was like
We
80.
did tennis court for a bit first.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the bid that we opened on last Thursday was, I think you all have this, they have it in their packet, Lori?
Yes,
Yeah. Was $82,935, but that was including fencing.
Now, that's not the one that you give me.
No, the one.
No,
The one without the
I
fence.
had given it, I apologize, we had given it to Sabrina for her to give to you,
So
but
they don't have the right one. The one
No.
that, the one that you give me is
the original
the-
bid was this amount. That was what we opened. However, Scotty's came back with this bid that you have in your packet,
Different courts.
with the correct ports on the back.
But
If-
no
if I-
fencing.
No fencing.
If-
But the tourism has still agreed to give us that full amount, keep that amount open for us so that if we need to use it all, then it was available.
But didn't Scotty's give us a bid for 100 by 200 blacktop paved?
I think what happened was the original bid was, they thought it was for tennis courts.
Yes.
So the original bid was $86,000. So that's what we went to tourism for, and tourism approved the $86,000. So then Scotty's called Wes and said, or Wes called Scotty about some other things and clarified, and they said, we made a mistake. We thought we were bidding for tennis courts and it was pickleball courts, even though we asked. That's when they came back with the 53,000. So tourism said that they would still go ahead with the amount that they agreed to, or they bid on, or passed. Approved at 86. So then we decided, or Tammy decided to rebid, ask them to rebid. And that's when they come back with the pickleball plus the fencing. And we'd already asked somebody to give us a rough estimate on the fencing, and they come back with about 12,000. So 12,000 and the 53,000 would be 65,000. So that's why
$25
Tammy asked
savings.
just for a bid strictly for the pickleball, because Scotty's was basically going to do the fencing, but contract it to somebody else. They weren't going to do it.
Right.
So that way, we can bid out three things, or however many we want to. We can bid out the court, which is for this, 53. Then we can do a separate bid for fencing. And then we can do a third bid for benches. Tammy got an estimate for the benches for like 700, 750, something like that for each.
And that was on the high end.
So
That
are
was-
we doing the bidding for the fence, or is Scotty doing the bidding?
I've already put set the bid out to the newspaper.
We
So
are.
We're
taking care of
doing
the
it.
fence.
We're
Yes.
taking care of the
Not
fencing,
Scotty.
not Scotty's. The only thing Scotty's gonna do is the pickleball.
So you take it 12 out of it?
No, it was like 20 something, or 30 almost.
The bottom line
About
is,
$20.
$20
$29.
savings, us
Yeah.
doing it versus Scotty's doing
Yeah.
it. They were building in
That's
some.
what I
Yeah.
was trying to get at. So you said it's 53 plus,
Plus 12 or whatever the bid comes into. The rough estimate
oh,
was
so you
12.
don't know. 12
Don't
is
know.
the guess.
This is just a phone conversation that said to 12.
So
Correct.
correct me if I'm wrong, Tammy, the one that you give me that is in their packet is without the fencing, the 53, right, the 23, 673, 46, and the 27. Okay, so that's what they
Do
have.
they have to be high, like tennis courts, or
They do, not crazy high, 8 foot. It'll be 8 foot on the ends,
Gotcha.
and then 4 foot.
4 foot on the sides.
On the sides.
With padding
With-
on top of the,
And with a gate on each side. So, the big thing is, we may have enough even for some lights
Correct.
if our mayor has any connection with RECC to get them put in for free, and we got lights around.
I
Maybe
don't know
we'll
where they
get,
keep the keys to their trucks.
maybe we'll get lights pretty cheap. Maybe we'll do
Denny.
the whole thing for less than
Didn't dig the hole.
Yeah,
86.
Then dig the holes.
I have expertise in the field of digging.
There's a story behind that if you want to know after the meeting, so it's a good one too.
Especially if you like to get something on Denny. Let's make fun of the short person.
so our recommendation is to go ahead and accept this bid, and that way we can at least start the process.
So I'll make a motion to accept the bid for Scotty's for 53.
Right.
Second.
And change, 53,000 and change.
373.46.
For the courts.
Thank you very much.
Motion by Bailey, second by Clayton. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Now, do you need one for fencing?
Till we get the bids in.
Not until you get a
Haven't
bid.
gotten the bid yet. It'll be a couple of weeks before that
I
comes.
think we need to thank tourism for doing this again.
Yes.
Because they're
Yes.
sponsoring the whole shebang.
It wouldn't have been possible without them.
I have a question. I was telling Harold the other day, and I think Billy, when they build those, I've had some people approaching me, not one, but 2 or 3 or 4, said, please don't build them east and west, build them north and south, because of the sun.
The sunrise, sunset.
They have been to 2 or 3 places that have really got nice ones, but they didn't think it out, and they built them east and west, and you can't play without lights hardly.
Correct.
And I
We'll make a note of that.
I didn't know,
Makes sense.
just
Yeah.
to talk.
Sure does.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda is second and final reading of RZ-23-119, ordinance to rezone from B1 to C1.
An ordinance amending and adopting an amended. There we go. An ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of the property located in Litchfield, Kentucky is hereinafter described from B-1 Neighborhood Business to C-1 Highway Commercial. Whereas the Litchfield Planning Commission of Litchfield, Kentucky on July 10th, 2023 held a public hearing on application number RZ-23-119. The property is currently owned by William Tomlinson and is designated as property having a PVA number 083-08-04-067, being more particularly described in Deed Book 515, page 406, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 606 North Main Street, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from B-1 Neighborhood Business to C-1 Highway Commercial, and whereas City Council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Litchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference, and now therefore be it ordained by the City of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows. Boundaries of the district as shown on district map entitled Zoning Map. Litchfield, Kentucky being the same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof, as fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 7/11/2023 to the Litchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows. Property description. Refer to property description PVA number 083-08-04-067, Deed Book 515, page 406, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 606 North Main Street, Litchfield, Kentucky 42754, now zone C-1 Highway Commercial after the adoption of this ordinance. And it will need a roll call vote because it's a second reading tonight.
Okay. We need a roll call vote
Yes.
after the, now or after?
Yes,
Okay.
now.
Yeah, we want to
Okay.
hear first and second.
Okay.
Need a first and second.
I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Clayton, get a second by Tootie. Denny?
Aye.
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 Thank you. First reading of personnel pay and classification plan amended ordinance.
I know we've been talking about this, so we may not be able to do the first reading tonight, because I know there's some changes that Denny's talking about, needing to add in there, and I agree, I think they need to be added in there. That way, we don't have to amend this ordinance every year. And what Denny had talked about for the ones that, wasn't involved in that conversation was to go ahead and put in there, kind of like the city council and the mayor's ordinance reads, that they will adopt the cost of living each year once it comes in. That way you don't have to continuously update the ordinance. It's automatically said that it's in there, so. And I agree, that needs to be in there, so. Me and Arlene will just have to go back to the drawing board and get that put in there. And then there was a couple classifications that the mayor and I changed, or what the mayor changed. One of them being the city clerk, so that was not approved by the utility commission, so that's gonna have to go back to the utility commission to get their approval on that one too, because they do pay half of the salary. So they do need to be involved in that. And we could always do a first reading without their approval, and make it contingent on their approval. And then I think we were changing, since I sent it out the other day, we were gonna change the assistant fire chief to a 31. I think I sent that out to you all. And, but we've talked about that since, and Mayor, you wanted to go ahead and move that to a 34, am I correct?
Yes, and we were looking at, and it had been called to our attention, some of the difference in assistant fire chief and the payroll for the police department, sergeants and assistant chief and all that. We looked at the police sergeant, moving it. What were we thinking of moving it to, Lori?
Oh, I didn't think we were moving it. I think we were just making, I thought we were
No,
making
the chief, the assistant fire chief.
To match that.
We were gonna match that.
Yes,
Yeah, and that's a 34?
34 is
34.
what they are, yep.
So that's the only change that I'm aware of, other than city clerk change.
And then we still need to get approval from the tourism commission on the one that involves anything with tourism, so, and I think we can get a soft approval on that. Elsa can send it out to them, so that's not a big deal. But I do know, I don't know if Arlene can just jot that in there somewhere real quick and still do the first reading, or if she wants to go back to the drawing board.
Do you want the cost of living included as well with this first reading?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. that it automatically updates each year.
So your assistant chief, you're changing from the 31 that you sent us out to.
To 34. What was it, about a $2 difference?
Two something, yeah.
It wasn't a huge
Max is
difference.
$8,000.
Huh?
Your max is $8,000.
Yeah, when you look at over the course of the year, yes.
Top pay on 31 is 26.57, and then 34 is 29.70, so,
Yes, I see.
yeah.
That's all. So you go for 55 max.
Yeah. Those, as far as I know, are the only changes. Do you know any more, Lori?
Do what?
Do you know of any other changes that we've made?
No, I can't
so.
think of any other that we made. That's the only ones that I know.
Okay.
Grounds, ballpark,
Do what?
you got on my text, grounds, ballpark, maintenance supervisor.
Yeah, we did change that one, but that was changed when I sent it out. So, I mean, we changed it from a 31 to a 30. Right, we took it down.
Yes, yes.
So is this the only change?
Yes. Okay. The cost of living, yeah, when we receive it. I think it's DLG.
Are we gonna do a first reading tonight then?
I mean, I've added in what's been changed, and you all just kind of, if you hear me say something that's incorrect, just let me know and I'll read it.
Okay.
But it's up to you all if you want to read it tonight. I've jotted down the increase and living increase.
Well, if we do a first reading, then if everybody approves of it, we can do the second reading next meeting, is right?
Yes,
So,
Yes.
yeah, we'll just make it contingent on utilities
Mhm.
approving mine and then the soft approval from the Tourism Commission.
Okay. So let's go ahead and have a first reading tonight, Darlene.
All right. Whereas the creation and maintenance of a personnel and pay classification plan for the employees of the city of Leitchfield, Kentucky has been mandated by the provisions of Chapter 83A of the Kentucky Revised Statutes, and whereas such plan is intended to provide for an equitable distribution of wages and range of pay rates, which rewards employees for continuing and improving job performance, as well as a structure whereby pay rates can be adjusted in an orderly and equitable manner for all employees performing similar job functions. And whereas the previous ordinance relating to personnel and pay classification should be repealed and this new ordinance adopted, which addresses the personnel and pay classification due to the numerous changes and addition of information. Now therefore be it ordained by the city of Leitchfield, Kentucky as follows, that ordinance number 2003-5 passed on May 19th, 2023, and amendments to the original ordinance passed February 7th, 2005, ordinance number 2005-1, and amended ordinance 2016-09 passed August 15th, 2016 are hereby repealed, that the personnel and pay classification set forth in Exhibit A hereof is hereby incorporated herein by reference and is hereby adopted as applying to the city employees whose position is listed thereon, and the wage range contained in the said plan shall be the minimum and maximum range which each person employed in the applicable classification shall be compensated. The previous portions being indicated by a solid line drawn through them, and the new portions indicated by a solid line drawn beneath them. Number 3, and this is just going off of what I've jotted down in here. Number 3, said personnel and pay classifications shall automatically be subject to an annual cost of living increase based on DLG guidelines. And again, the assistant fire chief on the attachment A would read as a 34, not a 31.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions, Darlene, on that subject? First reading, we don't
that's
need to do
right.
anything right now, so. Okay. Next item, approval of June 2023 financial statement, unaudited. I think we've all got that in our packet here.
Yeah, and just keep in mind that is unaudited, so those figures will change a little bit.
Lori, those figures didn't have anything as far as any federal money, right, from COVID for that year? I don't remember seeing anything in there for that.
I'd have to go back and look. We've got so much money
Yeah.
in with opioid stuff and other stuff that it's hard to remember exactly what all we got in.
I just didn't think it was for this period,
Do we
this
need to,
fiscal year, but
do we
anyway.
need to approve them or make a motion on this ain't been on?
We always have in the past, because it's just, it says unaudited, that you all accepted what she's presented to you. No, you don't have to vote on it tonight, but I was trying to look to see if I could tell if there was any federal money in there for Denny. I'm gonna say there's some in there, Denny, but I'll have to go back and look. Like I said, I know we've got different monies in, and some of it being the opioid, some of it being, I'm pretty sure some of it is gonna fall under the ARPA stuff.
Yeah, there's some money trickling in. I know we got a safety grant the other day from KLC, small one, and
Yeah.
the opioid settlement.
Yeah, we actually just got I think the third check on it in the mail today.
How are we getting them? Is somebody applying for them, or are they just giving them to the city?
Well, you have to go in and fill out all the paperwork, so I filled out the paperwork. I think there's 2 different ones on the opioid money,
So as
that
long as you get paperwork in, it's pretty well,
Yeah.
good to go.
Yeah, they kind of share it between communities. Larger communities, of course, get a lot more, and smaller ones get some.
and that one's gonna trickle out, correct me if I'm wrong, David, the schedule I give you went all the way through 34?
It does.
And it
It
was,
does.
on the opioid, and it was some pretty large amounts if it
Yeah.
doesn't change, which, I mean, it's subject to change, but there was some pretty large amounts there.
Yeah.
David, can you give me a like list, what that's restricted to, how you can spend it?
What was it, Lori, that we?
We can actually use it for pay, and it wasn't, I know when we looked at it to begin with, they didn't have pay in it, but Sabrina, that was one of the questions I had her ask at clerk training a couple weeks ago, and now they're saying that as long as he can go into KY Ops, and it's, the reports say that that officer, you know, it was a drug-related incident, that we can use a portion of their pay for any of them that's labeled drug-related, so.
So we're getting ready to implement where the officers will designate if that was an opioid call or if it was involved in the call. And that way we can keep up with it and then, you know, come up with a report and everything that we can turn it in so that we can get reimbursement for that or.
So what do we pay on your task force guys? Same as we did when we started, insurance, and
We do.
don't they pay this salary?
They pay just the salary.
Yeah, they pay the salary, we pay the benefits for DCR.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Lori, the only thing I saw was that the grant for 350, I'm sorry, yeah, total 352,818.
Yeah, I
But
see
that's
that.
various sources, I would assume.
Yeah, I'd have to look and see what all that is, Denny.
It seemed like the federal money was a lot more than that. I guess the point I'm trying to get to is, it looks like even though the budget was for a net loss, we ended up having a net gain of a significant amount of money, the way it looks.
Yeah.
So it kind of, Billy and I were talking about that previously, about for next year's budget, budgeting for a deficit, which was done here. There's about $1 million difference between what was budgeted and what the net profit, so.
Any other questions for?
Mayor, what's your recommendation? From table or you gonna pay? Or accept it?
It's up to you guys. I'm good with accepting it or tabling either one.
I don't know that it'll slow down anything.
It won't, yeah, it
I'll
won't.
make a motion to table.
Okay. Second by Clayton, all in favor to table it?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Unfinished business, code enforcement amended ordinance for condemned property.
We are still working on that. We don't have anything to present yet.
Okay. Okay. Next thing is, I think Denny had some correspondence about an opening prayer for council meetings. I did have a call from a local minister this week. or last week, I'm sorry. And he said they would like to do something akin to what they do at the county. I think he has a different pastor come to like one meeting a month. It would be whichever meeting we would decide, the first or the second meeting of the month.
Good idea.
And do that. So tell me what you guys think about this.
So
I know we
who-
talked about it a little bit before, but
Who would be responsible for getting the individual to come here?
Mr. Scharcher is the one that is offered, Chester.
So he would
He's,
come,
I think he
He's
kind of,
head of the ministerial association.
I
right?
think he coordinates that with the county some too.
So he would be the one coming each time?
No, he would coordinate somebody to come.
I'm sure they could probably make us a 12-month schedule.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would probably be the easiest way for him.
Yeah.
Terry, I think they rotate denominations into churches too.
That was my next question,
That's what they
as
do.
far as denominations.
Yeah.
Because they all belong to the ministry.
Right.
Ministerial Association, yeah. But that was his request, and the discussion I had with him, I got from it that he would take care of the scheduling, having somebody here. We would just want to decide, like I said, the first or the second meeting of the month, and in case of emergency, somebody couldn't make it or something, somebody can pray. I mean, Denny can pray.
Previously, up until last Friday.
So Mayor, is this something that you would like to see?
I think it'd be good. I do. I think it'd be something good for us to, I know there's some discussion and has been in the past, about separation. Yeah.
Yeah, you better believe it. I can use all the prayer you can give me.
It don't, I don't see any negative with it, other than if somebody challenges it, at some point, then we'd have to turn back up and deal with that, whatever that would be.
But even if there's a challenge, it's not a problem as long as everybody has the opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's as long as you don't discriminate,
Yeah.
If a Buddhist wants to lead
Yeah.
prayer, that's,
What'd you say?
you can't discriminate. Anybody,
What was that other safety, what was that other?
any denomination,
Okay.
including Buddhist or Hindu. I've had some experience recently with the Indian culture.
Yeah.
How
Then he got into a mess last week, so he'll have to tell you guys about it.
He had several weeks.
So I guess, do you guys want to think on this some more? Do you want to go forward with it? See how it goes?
I'm for it. I'll make a motion,
Okay,
we do it.
Second by Clayton, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
I oppose.
You opposed? Okay. Tootie voted nay, and everybody else voted yea, so. And I'll make contact with Mr. Scharcher and let him know we're gonna try it for a period of time, see how it goes.
So are we gonna decide each month, or are you gonna tell him the first every time, or?
Yeah, do you guys have a preference of which meeting it is? First meeting of the month or the second meeting?
I think it'd be the easiest to do it first.
Do
first
first
meeting of the
would be-
month.
First meeting, we take care of us all,
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And some of us need to be a little more than others, I guess.
Amen.
Okay. Ordinance related to 10 PM noise violation. I know we talked about that previously.
There wasn't anything in the nuisance. I did look at that a while ago, so the only thing that mentions the 10 PM is the fireworks that I could
Yeah.
find, so.
Yeah, I don't think we've not been able to locate an ordinance that specifically deals with the 10 PM curfew during normal times, other than holidays that allow fireworks.
Or
So,
what's the difference between that and the start of a piece?
Actually, the noise ordinance is 24/7. I mean, if it's a disturbing noise, it doesn't matter what time it is. It could be
Yeah.
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Is there, how do you read that?
Yeah,
How do you,
Who determines what's,
Annoying.
yeah, how do you determine that you're,
I guess in the past, the way we've determined it is just, you know, I mean, we make contact with the people that's making the complaint and just,
it's just like,
You know-
you're gonna have people that's doing the wanting the ordinance, and then you're gonna have people that it ain't gonna bother
right,
if they're
right.
doing.
I mean, that's just the way we've always handled it. We just, you know, we just,
So you don't have no decimal meter or nothing
no,
like that?
no, we do not, no.
Some cities do have it on a decibel.
Yes.
Well, I've saw that, and some of the larger cities do it based on that.
Well, I know when we had the car audio,
Yeah.
whatever, people called and complained, so.
Yeah.
I know it didn't last 2 or 3 hours, but do you go over and shut them down? Do you tell the people?
We do, I
I mean,
mean,
if we sponsor it and they come in here and do it,
Some cities do it based on weekdays versus weekends too. So
Yeah.
some will do like a 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock on the weekends, and then 9, 10 o'clock for during the week. So, or special holiday events, they'll make certain exceptions
just
Yeah.
like we had with fireworks.
for the fireworks.
Yeah. And those cars, I don't know, they've tried them at tennis courts, they've tried them at ballpark, they've tried them behind those sheriff's office. So,
You know, and usually it's a day, it's a special event that we're having.
Yeah.
It's always been related to something that
Yeah.
you're putting on, whether it's a film festival or,
so do we want to look a little further into that, or do you guys want to table it for now, bring it up to the next meeting for a vote?
I'm having a hard time following along. What are we trying to bring back up? We don't have an ordinance. Are you
We don't.
wanting an ordinance?
Well, if y'all think we need a noise ordinance, we need to pass one and come up with one. If,
Was
you know, for
one
10 p.m. 's a
specifically-
curfew.
There's
Just-
actually one that
Yeah.
does talk about noise.
Yeah, we do have a noise ordinance, but the way it's not based on any decibel, and it's throughout the whole day.
Right.
So there's no time cutoff.
I know
pretty-
there's some,
It's pretty vague, too.
Yeah, I was trying to find it, thank you, David.
Yeah.
It's,
Emission of noise which is noxious enough to destroy the enjoyment of dwellings or other uses of property in the vicinity by interfering with the ordinary comforts of human existence, which leaves a lot of
I
room
know
for
that there's,
interpretation.
I've had people contact me about excessive dog barking. And we do have something in the book as far as that goes somewhere in there.
It falls
Um,
under that.
Okay, so why do we need an additional ordinance?
Well, I think what the difference is, the police department has traditionally went by like a 10 o'clock curfew because they mirror imaged the 10 o'clock on the fireworks.
So
But
David,
there's-
is this something that you feel like we need? Do you feel like it'd be beneficial if it specifically stated 10 PM?
I just think it needs to be clarified, however you guys want to do it. I think it, you know, it just needs to be clarified just a little bit more.
I think for
I mean,
business
we're,
owners.
you know, we're enforcing what we got.
Right.
You know, and it's fine, you know, most people comply and we don't have an issue. You know, sometimes we have to go back a second time, but usually that takes care of it, you know, but
But you guys have been enforcing the 10 p.m. number mostly, right?
yes, sir, we
Yeah.
have, yeah.
And we don't really have that name or
We
that time in
have.
there to address it, but that's,
So David,
So we need to put it in there then.
we need, you're saying it'd be helpful, especially to your department, if it's specifically said 10 PM?
It would just help clarify
Okay.
to everyone, I think, you know, because I think, you know, I think some people misunderstand it.
Right.
You know, and we have been questioned, you know, about the fireworks and about regular noise ordinance. I mean, you know, we went on noise complaints at 7 o'clock at night, and they said, well, we thought it was 10. You know, so I
Right.
think some clarification would help the public a whole lot. You know, just let them know, because the public normally complies. I mean, there's not an issue. You know, most people don't realize they are being a nuisance, and when we get there, it's okay, you know. So I think just a little clarification, maybe on a time, if y'all wanted to put a time on it, you know.
Is most of this relating to fireworks?
There's a lot of dog barking complaints too.
And dog barking?
Roosters crowing.
Primarily, loud music, and most of that comes from the apartment complexes.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's basically it.
Here's could be an issue though. Basically, we have a noise ordinance now that's affect all the time, right? So if you change it to 10 o'clock, does that mean before 10 o'clock you can do all the noise you want to do?
Right.
So, you know, if we have a noise ordinance now that's effective at all time, then why would we need to put
Not
it?
what our Lincoln City can.
Well, no, I think that's what they have been practicing. They kind of just hold off until 10.
But they wouldn't have to.
Not,
So I
not
guess
under
if you
the
have an
ordinance
outrageous
now.
noise, you could just go shut it down now.
And we've done that, you know, I mean, we've done that. Like I say, you know, most of the citizens comply if we have a complaint, you know, no matter what the time may be.
This kind of gives, what we have now gives you all a lot of discretion to decide what's too much and what's not. And, I know my deal is if you guys are okay with it, then it seems to be working. We haven't had too many citizens, have y'all had
you know,
citizens complaints about it? I mean, that's
About noise?
about,
Yes.
well, not noise, but the problem with enforcing them.
I mean, we've
Cutting
done
it
that
down.
for
I mean,
years,
I don't know.
you know,
But, but now we've just said we don't have anything in line, really in writing, right?
No, we have an ordinance.
Yeah, we have an
We
ordinance.
do.
Just don't have a
It's
designated
24/7.
time, cutoff
24/7
time.
Yeah.
Time.
Do we need a time?
The
If
only
you're,
thing that-
if you're making noise at any time, if it's
The only
2
thing the
o'clock in the
time was put
afternoon,
in
it's
there for
obnoxious.
was the fireworks though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the only, yeah.
That's the only time you had a time in it.
Just for fireworks.
The
I
other's
think there was some
24/7.
confusion
Right.
So
thinking,
broad, it
yeah.
could be a backhoe out here ramming rock.
That's
Right.
true.
I mean, what,
Could be a truck
Yeah.
running, as Jake break down the hill here.
in a lot of communities that did a Jake break.
Right.
Yeah, there's a
Or
lot
no
of them
mufflers
that
in
have
your
that.
vehicle. Yeah, so that's,
So it's so broad.
but I think there's just been some confusion with, some people have been going by 10 o'clock on the sound ordinance, and I think it was just clarifying some confusion. Some officers had been enforcing the 10 o'clock for the sound ordinance. A lot of people did, yeah.
I did too, and I
think
was like,
everybody did
I
till
was
this last
honestly
thing we
thinking it
had
was
going.
in the nuisance ordinance, but it is not.
Well, we had someone that was basically live music and had a complaint, and it was a little after 10, and they had to go and,
That's what I'm saying, so if somebody wants to play over at East Main Market Street, they can.
no, we've told them to keep it to 10. You know, within a minute or two, I mean, cut off right in the middle of a song, but we've asked them to keep it, to end it at 10.
I mean,
You
if
could make-
everybody's good with the ordinance, I
Yeah,
mean, we can leave as is.
You
I
can
mean,
make
it's
a
just
certain
been brought up.
exception for live music or something like that, on live music.
Tyler probably knows them all.
City, for city-sponsored events, right? Says something like that. Yeah, there's an exception for city-sponsored events, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah. I'm fine with leaving it as is. If David thinks that'll
I mean,
hinder him in any way.
It's, I mean, it's always worked, you know.
Okay.
I mean, we can work with it. We could probably put both ordinances on our Facebook page and on our website, and maybe just put some kind of statement down there just so people will clarify and understand, that there is a noise ordinance that's in effect 24 hours a day.
24/7, yeah.
Actually, but the fireworks is 10 p.m.
Yeah.
unless specified night,
Yeah.
I mean, we could do that, and just educate a little bit maybe and see how that goes.
Okay.
Hey, Tyler, could you find them ordinances and just email them to us?
Yes.
I'll find them, I don't know. I haven't saw those
I don't
before.
remember seeing that one either.
Yeah, it's somewhere that,
Okay.
something about government-sponsored events or something.
Okay, I'll look
Yeah.
for them and email them out.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know where it's at, do you? But it's.
We'll just leave that as is for now, and then you guys can study on it. If you feel like we need to make a change or something, we can. If you think it's okay like it is, we can leave it like it is, so. Okay, next item is review property tax rate sheet provided by Sabrina Whitaker for approval at the next meeting.
And Sabrina has asked that if you have any questions regarding it, to please get with her before the next meeting so she can have answers. That way, she's not trying to stumble through finding answers during the middle of the meeting.
And she did put some information on there.
Yes.
For you guys to go back, I think, 5 years and see what we had done in the past. And
I think she's got some good information on there, included in that packet.
she's got, whether we do the 4, the other, or nothing listed too, so. It was a whole lot better information than I remember it being kind of confused looking at it when I was on the council sometimes. So she's got that extra information on there that hopefully will help. And as Lori said, if you have any questions about that or anything, holler at her before the next meeting. Any new business? Anyone have any new business? Or let's do unfinished first, I'm sorry. Terry?
No.
Tootie?
No.
Clayton?
No.
Gina? Danny?
Old business would be, I think.
Unfinished business.
Unfinished. The utilities aren't they broadcasting their meetings now?
They are.
Well,
Well,
we had a little hiccup with the first meeting. I never could get the Restream app to pick up. I don't know what the deal was there. And then, of course, I was called out of town for an family emergency last meeting. So we'll pick up with them at the next meeting.
Okay. That's all.
Appreciate you.
Lori, you have any unfinished
Not
business?
anything, oh, no.
No.
Aaron? David?
No, sir, I'm good.
Tyler?
I just want to send an invitation to all the council members. Next Monday at our planning commission meeting, we're going to have our first work session for the updating of the comprehensive plan. So I'm inviting anybody to come out. It'll be at 5:30 here at City Hall next Monday on the 14th.
Okay.
So I need to probably go ahead and alert the public that we could have a quorum of city council members at that meeting.
Okay. Anything else, Tyler? Heather? You have anything? Okay. All right, we'll move on to new business. Any new business, Billy?
I would like to, let's talk about updating our audio and video. Okay. I'll make a motion that we update better, make it work.
Do what
Yeah,
it
we
takes.
need to do
What
something.
wording you want to use.
Yeah, I agree.
To make it a little more simpler.
Yeah.
This hasn't been very user-friendly at all.
Not at all. And if it's from whoever put it in, if it can add something to it for money, or
Yeah.
where it's a click of a button, or
I can get with Mark
to make it
Buckles.
stream,
is the
I
one
would
that
make
did
a
all
motion
that.
to upgrade.
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So that would
That was unanimous,
that
yeah.
would mean amending the budget if it's very much.
Well,
Yeah.
so it's not going to be nothing like.
I don't, I hope it ain't like it was to begin with, because we
Yeah, this
we
was-
spent
Whole
a,
deal with the 25 grand. so,
yeah.
I mean,
But I'll get with Mark and see if he can help us out, and if we can't make it any user-friendly, because it has been,
Horrible.
it's been awful. Like, that speaker over there is actually turned off, it's not working. That was where we were getting all of our distortion from. Yeah, like tonight, we don't have no cameras working, and we've tried everything we know to get them to work, so.
Okay. Anything else, Billy?
No.
Okay. Terry?
I do have one thing, and I've talked to you and Tammy about it through an email, about the standing water at the Fireman's Park between the pavilion and those swings. And I think that you or Tammy, one said that Wesley, it was already in the budget for a tile to be put through there. And then it was brought to my attention that there's a handicap accessible swing on those swing sets. And it's really difficult in order to get a wheelchair from the pavilion where the restrooms are to that
Because of the
swing.
wet, because of the rain.
Because of the wet, because of the grass, because of the ground. So I think that it would be a really good idea. I mean, if we're offering a handicap accessible swing for individuals with disabilities, then we need to put in a handicap accessible sidewalk
Pathway,
leading
yeah,
straight to
get it,
those.
yeah.
Is that water from the splash park?
It's just water
It's just a
standing
low
all
spot,
the
just a-
time.
Well, that's what it's like.
And,
They use the spot, they spot it
Yeah.
all the time.
and as Wes said there, Aaron, I think would say, you've got that on your radar to do, it's just a matter of getting to it.
Yes.
I think Wes told me we had
Yes,
the
we have rocks
material and
that-
everything.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
we have, it's on the list, I promise.
yeah,
The
okay.
material as in the tile or material as in the walkway?
No, I didn't know nothing about the walkway.
So is that something that we can look into?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You're talking about the walkway going to the handicap thing?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And
we
it,
can-
I mean, it's not a long distance, but when you are wheeling an individual
Right.
with disability that, you know, it's complete dead weight. So when
Right.
you're having to go off of the pavement from that pavilion into the grass, over the bumps, and then over the little edging that goes into the swings, there needs to be a walkway.
There's probably a grant for that, too.
That's what I was sitting
It
here
probably
thinking,
is for
there
that.
should be some kind of grant out there for that, so me and Tammy can look into that.
But that shouldn't be, if nothing else starting out, we could put some dense grade in, pack it down real good till we could get it blacktopped or something, so.
That'd be good. And that's all I have.
Okay. Tootie?
Yeah, I've got one thing. Up here on the courthouse square at the big flower beds that's built all in the corners, the one over there at Don Cottrell's office, at Clay Ratley's, it's got that big tree up there in it.
Right.
And they're complaining that the tree's too big.
Yeah, we're gonna take a couple of trees down there. The one right there and by, the one where the mattress, in front of where the mattress shop was, it moved down here. There's computer repair there now.
Yeah, what our intentions were is the two big ones coming from the south side into the square on either side, we were going to take them out. Now, I don't know for sure about the one at Don Cottrell's office. I'm not 100% on that one, but I mean,
can look
we
at
take
it.
two
They
down,
are-
we can take another one, so.
But they're the ones
Bradford
that
Pears, and they're-
complaining
they're-
about it, because
Okay.
whenever it's all leaved out, you can't hardly see the front of the building.
I got you.
Yeah.
But that's no big deal.
Okay,
I think if we-
need to be, or if we're told to, we'll do.
okay.
So,
I think when they were planning and we did that, somebody liked them.
Oh, they were small though.
That,
Yeah.
oh, I understand, even when they got big,
Yeah.
somebody, I never heard no complaint, but
Yeah.
somebody liked the tree when we decided we were gonna take out trees.
Yeah.
I do think benches would be nice on the square, just an idea.
Yeah, you put benches and flowers around and make them look nice.
Yeah, we don't have any benches on the square now, I just think that would be nice, especially like if you have events. Just an idea to fill in, you know.
Well, and as much as our square's growing too.
The sidewalks are not wide enough for benches on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
That's
but,
a disability there.
well, where those maples or like for instance,
Yes.
where the Japanese
Yeah.
maples, instead of maintaining that in a flower bed, I don't, we'd have to look at regulations, but if you put benches back there instead of,
You could probably put them in beds in here.
oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, but
Yeah, because the sidewalk deal, like, you gotta have at least 5 foot for handicap.
Yeah.
That way they can rotate if need be. And if you put them too close to the edge, as far as you've seen some of the lights, they tend to get run over. Because they'll back the trucks in, long wheelbase trucks, they'll back in, and we've replaced them, I don't know how many times.
$322
So,
if you don't have much you got.
yes, yeah, and April ain't too happy about that, so.
Yeah.
But, yes, that would be, as far as us, because we have to maintain the flower beds on the outside, that would be a whole lot simpler and easier on us as well. If we
There's
could-
been some push to take those lights down, just because so many are getting run over.
Do I now?
I said, there's been some push to take those lights down.
Really?
That there's have so many bumped into and run over and broke down, and so I haven't heard anybody mention it in a while,
Like
but.
Marlene?
yep, I like 'em. I like them.
I mean, you probably don't want to own the building up there around here, so.
Yeah, I like them being there,
I think,
yeah.
Painting
That's-
like boxes with fake flowers.
We did have an issue over the little spot over there in front of A and B.
Yes.
That was grown up and messed up, so we got that out. We've got some more to do to it, but we cleared it out basically for the fiddling contest and stuff, so. It kind of got out of hand with the Japanese maple tree and everything else that was
Yeah, they
planted
tried
in
to
there.
save them, but it didn't work.
No, it didn't work too well.
No.
Okay. Anything else, Tootie?
No.
Okay. Clayton, any new business?
Yeah, two things. I was talking to the mayor, before the meeting, showing him a picture. I don't know exactly where it's at. We were trying to figure out. I was getting text messages and picture messages of the walking track over there, and that they had the baskets for the disc golf, and they were throwing them, and one person got clipped with it the other day. They were in the walking track, and they were over there, and so, you know,
I think that was Saturday, because I was walking over there as well, and I noticed that they had one on the walkway, but it was a tournament going on, if I'm not mistaken, and it's not a full-time thing.
When he showed me the picture, I couldn't
was-
place it because
no,
I'd
it
never
wasn't.
seen that
They
on
had
the-
it taped, and then they had it set there. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and it
right
was
there.
advertised at the park
And it
was
was
supposed to be
advertised, and they
closed.
had it closed off part of the way, but it was a tournament going on, and it's not an ongoing thing.
okay.
But they did try to, while I was walking the track, they did try to keep people there to let people know that they were oncoming, so.
That's probably what the guy
It's
standing
right
there
there.
for,
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
trying to keep people.
I was gonna say, because I hadn't noticed it. We walk over there some. I hadn't
No,
noticed anything in the middle of the track like that.
Since we're talking about that, where are we staying with the veterans walking track?
Oh, we're wide open.
They're wide open on it
Yeah,
now.
I seen that that'd been.
We worked 10 hours on today.
Good deal.
And as far as I know, we're gonna continue working 4 10s and then work 8 Friday. So we're doing what we can do.
Pushing forward.
Thanks for your support. That's it.
No, we actually come a long ways today. On the opposite side, we've pretty much, I mean, it ain't perfect, but we've got, I'm gonna say 90% of dirt moved over today.
Awesome.
So, and then we'll start down the other side.
I had one gentleman from the Legion call and wanted to pass along their thanks for getting started on that, so. And we appreciate it too, Aaron. Clayton, you got anything else? New
Yeah,
business?
one other thing, and I know, David, you hear this all the time, but down here on South Main Street, coming off the Parkway and the businesses up through there, traffic coming up south, 259 just flying, people nearly getting run over Commerce Drive, pulling out of the Parkway, onto the road, pulling out, and people just flying up through there.
Okay.
And, so, I mean, I'll leave that in your hands,
Okay,
but
we'll do extra
I'm
radar down
getting
through there.
complaints on it, you know, and
Okay. Okay.
that's it.
Gina, new business?
Sorry, I got a list.
That's all right.
I had talked to Aaron before the meeting, so the pictures with the drainage issue on Lashley and Seth, I think they've started working on that,
Yeah.
and that's being addressed. And then I also talked to him about the end of Lashley Street turning onto Sunset. I hadn't, but there was a couple people talking about needing to either raise that drain or widen that, but I think we need to measure to make sure the roads are the same width as the other roads before we start talking about that, to make sure they're consistent. Next,
What- Excuse me.
that's okay, go ahead.
What would you have to do, Aaron, to do that?
As far
To
as,
widen,
to widen the road?
yeah, to widen that?
Well, unless
They
you
weren't
wanna.
talking, sorry, Aaron, I didn't mean
No,
to
you're fine.
interrupt you.
Go ahead.
They weren't talking about widening the road as such, as much as raising that drain to where that gave them a little extra turning space because they're dropping off. But primarily it's the trucks with carrying their trailers.
Trailers, yes.
Well, they talked to me about both, raising that, but also were they some way you could go to the other side and take so much off each side and widen it now?
Well, I mean, you would
That's
have.
not my
That's
expertise.
subdivision, right?
Right.
Yes. You would have to,
That's what we was looking at, Walter.
to widen it on the upper side, you would have to raise the catch basin.
Right.
Well, that's the thing about it though, you wouldn't be able to widen it unless you move the catch basin. I mean, even if you, it wouldn't do no good to raise it.
But that's what they, okay.
You would have to move it up into, you'd have to move it up the hill into their yard, and then you would have to re-ditch the side of their yard and take out more of the bank to get the water to the catch basin. Of course, the other side, I mean, there's a tile coming out, that wouldn't be too bad, just extending it. But like you said, I mean, I haven't measured it, but it looks, I mean, I'm assuming it's close to 40 foot wide. And, I mean, honestly, it's as wide or wider than a lot of the streets that we have. I mean,
I think what
like I
makes
said,
it tough
it's-
there is the
you
streets
just-
you're coming
you
off
just-
of is not real
Right.
wide too, so
Right,
it's
yeah.
hard to swing
It's
in.
hard to
you know,
swing in.
and I'm not saying, I don't know, I wasn't there to witness what happened. Yeah, I mean, there's some that's a single lane, you know, but, you know, if that's whatever you want done, I guess we'll do.
Can we look at it to start with?
Yeah,
and
we
see?
can look at it, I mean,
And then, I don't think this, I don't know who this falls under, but as you're pulling out of Sunset, going to 259, if you look left, there's a tree
Tree.
at the top of the hill that blocks the view. And I think that would be a state tree that needs to be trimmed, but I don't know who we talked to about that.
I can contact Mark Stone,
Okay,
in the morning.
okay. And then there's a tree at the end of Marion Street. If you're pulling out of Dixie and you look to the right, you can't see that at all. By the old Lowe's Concrete.
Yes.
If you're pulling out of there, you can't see around.
Pulling out of, you say you're pulling out of
Pulling out
Dixie,
of
looking up
Dixie.
towards Marion?
Yeah, looking up toward that
Okay.
one.
That's
the right.
us,
Yes,
yeah.
but you can't see anything coming around that curve.
That's
And
fine,
then-
I'll have it taken care of.
And then one more. There's a shrub on the corner of Spring Street and Embry Villa that blocks the visibility. If you're coming down Spring Street toward the cleaners and try to turn in, you can't see without,
Got you,
yeah.
okay.
Okay. David, this one's for you.
Okay.
I have gotten several calls about the traffic on Cameron Drive, and I've got a couple vehicle descriptions that I will share with you.
Okay.
Of speeding, and then two people said something about vehicles parking in the road, but they could not tell me that they were blocking anything, they were just parked in the road.
Okay.
But the speeding thing,
Cameron Drive?
Cameron Drive.
Okay.
And then my last thing I've got, someone asked me about restriping the crosswalks on the square.
Okay.
So,
It's state, isn't it?
I'm not sure, I know that the highway's state highway, but do we do the crosswalks?
I mean, technically, it's state road. I mean, we haven't in the past. No, we've done like adjacent to the state roads as far as stop blocks and pedestrian crossings, but nothing on state road, because I'm sure you'd have to have a permit of some sort. Anything we do on the state road as far as, even as far as sidewalks, we have to go and contact the state and make sure we don't have to have a permit. Sometimes they let us go without it, sometimes they make us have one, so.
We can
I can ask Mark tomorrow.
make a call, ask Mark about it,
Yeah.
see what process we go through to. So I know the striping the parking spaces would be us and everything. but the
Yeah,
road
we
actually
have
is-
done the
yeah.
parking spaces around the square before, I have
The
done
road's
that.
actually state
But
highway,
as far
so-
as the crosswalks, you know, as long as I've been here, we have not.
Yeah. Now, at the beginning of the crosswalks there, where we've got the knobby stuff like we've got out here, like for
Yes.
people that are
Yeah, it's-
don't see well,
Yeah,
Do we do those too, or does the state actually do those?
We have and we haven't. You know, if we replace, like, for example, when we redone the sidewalk by the donut shop, that's leading to, we've done them, just because we were redoing the sidewalk going across Kuiper, Floyd Street.
Yeah.
We've done that both ways because we've redone the whole thing, the whole section. But the state, when they redone 54 along Save a Lot and here, there, and 62, now they redone the sidewalks there, they done
Okay.
the, whatever you want, the handicap,
Yeah.
you know, indicators.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Anything else, Gene?
That's me to my list.
Dennis?
A couple things. First of all, I want to thank Aaron and especially David Elliott for putting up the sign at Barton Cemetery. David made it. We're lucky to have him. He's really a talented person. He can do a lot of things, weld, and anyway, we had a lot of fun that afternoon or morning, didn't we?
That morning, yeah, we
Mayor,
did.
But the sign's the same as the Woodson Cemetery. The Racine County Historical Society paid for the sign, and the city put it up. And at the Woodson Cemetery, the one across from the old city hall, they did shrubbery. They paid for shrubbery, but the city put it in. And I was basically asked permission from the city council if we can put shrubbery. We got the sign and put shrubbery just on one side of Barton Cemetery, where it looked like the Woodson Cemetery. Situation is, we maintain it.
Yeah.
We may not own it, but in essence, we probably do own it from adverse possession for the decades that we've been mowing it, taking care of it. So basically, I think I can get outside funding to put the shrubbery up, and the only thing the city would be out would be the time and labor for Aaron and putting it up like they did at Woodson. They did a really good job at Woodson. So since it's kind of a bit unusual, I'll ask for a vote on it, if it's okay for city council for us to do that.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. That's all I had.
Okay. Lori, new business?
I do. I handed out a sheet, at the top it says Gmail. This is from our, representative for our life insurance that the city pays for, and it is time to renew that. And our current right now is 35 cents per thousand, and it's actually gonna go up if we stay with the $20,000 plan for the employees. It's gonna go up to .368, so it's not going up very much, but he did give us two other options for a 25,000 and a 35,000, and he recommended that we probably do look at the $25,000 policy, because $20,000 nowadays is not a lot of life insurance if you're having to, if that's your only life insurance policy, and some people that is. So I just wanted you all to look at those prices, and you know, we can stick with what we've got at the 20,000, and it doesn't affect our retirees at all. They still have, I think theirs is, it's on my desk, it's either $7,000 or $5,000 that the city still pays for the retirees, so it doesn't affect them at all. But those are just some options, so if you all want to look at those and let me know what you all think about them at the next meeting, so I can just let him know, do we want to stay with the current policy, or do we want to look it up, you know, upping it to one of the other ones that he give us to choose from, so, but if you all don't mind.
Something that our HR does,
Huh?
does HR look over these?
She does, but, I mean, this is just pretty standard. We didn't put anything in the budget for it. So, I mean, if we do that, we may have to amend the budget just a little bit. So when it comes.
We didn't put anything in the budget to raise it,
Right.
but we got it in the budget.
Yeah, for the old plan, so we'll, you know, I think even if we go with the renewal at the same, at the 20,000, there's probably enough in our budget elsewhere to cover that, but when you're looking at the $200 and $300 difference per month, I don't know if I can pick that up, because I usually try and keep my budget tight. So, but I think we would be fine on the renewal, but if we do the 25,000, we may have to amend just a little bit, on it, I'm not sure. I just, you know, when to the end of the year come, we would have to look at that, so. But I know I could pick up, you know, a little bit here and there out of stuff that I won't necessarily use, so.
Now, this is per individual, right? I mean, renewal rate will be increased $38 or so for each person that has the,
Yeah, everybody through the city has this. The city pays for
right,
this.
so it'll be 38 multiplied times the number of employees.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's got, I mean, what the monthly premiums there according to how many people we have now. So, I mean, at the bottom, it's got the monthly premium figured out there. Like I said, I think we've been blessed for it not to go up, and I think we've had this 13 years, he said, and it's not went up any until this year. And I think going up, what, 0.018 is, with the way life insurance is now, I don't think that's, I think that's awesome that it's not went up any more than that. But I just kinda wanted to get your all's thoughts, if you thought we needed to up it, or if you think we just need to stay at the 20,000, we're good with that.
Do you have to know that tonight?
No, I do not. We don't have to renew till September 1st, so that's what I was saying. If you all could just kind of think about it before the next meeting, because I told him it would be, I don't like to make you all make rash decisions, so I told him it would at least be the next meeting before I would let him know something.
Thank you.
I'm not opposed to just renewing it, but we just give a pay scale.
I agree with you. Agree with you 100% there.
Kind of feel the same.
40 cents versus the
Employees can opt for more
$40.
Yeah, and we do, that's what Erling was just saying, employees can opt for more coverage. We do have American Fidelity that has awesome life insurance rates. I actually have a policy through them that, we voluntarily pay for ourselves. So if they do want more, the option is out there, so.
Okay. Do we want to take some action on this now, or do we want to table it till the next meeting? What do you guys think? I know Danny, Billy,
I agree with Denny and Billy.
okay. You want to go ahead and address it tonight?
I'm perfectly fine with that, yeah.
Okay, so I guess we need a motion to
Except the renewal.
accept the renewal as
I'll
it
make a
is.
motion to accept the renewal for 20.
I second it.
Second by Tootie, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you all.
all right, thanks. Okay.
I think that's all I have. Oh, in your packet too, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Sabrina did give you all the checking accounts for you all to look at, and I think that's a quarterly thing she does, so just if you have any questions about that, feel free to get with one of us on it.
This, Lori, did you want to mention this, or just have a look over it?
Yes. It has been brought up with Jennifer, from somebody from KPPA, about council members and making sure that they work 100 hours a month to be able to be eligible for the retirement. Because our ordinance does say that you have to work the 100 hours, and that apparently is a KRS. So I know there was a little, I think what brought it up was maybe a couple didn't start participating right at the very beginning that was in the retirement system before. And she was actually told by them that they didn't have to, that they could wait. But apparently, if you've been in it before, you gotta go right back into it. I haven't been involved in all those conversations, but there was an email sent to her today asking if the council members did work 100 hours per month, that we have to answer and send back to make sure that you all are eligible for that.
How would you like for us to document that?
I think it's the honor system.
Yeah,
I don't think I want to ask you all to document something. I think it's just the honor system, because I know, me and the mayor were talking, you all have your monthly meetings twice a month, and then you all get calls throughout the week, throughout the day, all the time. So,
Well, a couple of us was out in the rain the
No
other day.
peace when you eat out or
looking
at
at
Walmart.
That's what I say, where do
Yeah.
you draw that?
Right.
If you mention anything about the city
Yeah,
that qualify, does it,
to me, if you're talking
does
city
to me.
business, yes.
yeah.
So, I feel like we're fine, but after me and the mayor were talking about this, so we just thought we would just kind of reiterate that, to be able for you all to still stay in the retirement system, you know, that's part of it. You have to be working those 100 hours just to,
I try, and it's real good information. I try to ride around with Leslie at least once a month.
yeah.
4 or 5
Yeah.
hours. I mean, like I said, it's real information.
It really is, yeah.
Everybody, and so,
Probably a little bit more than 100.
right there, I mean, it's, yeah.
So more an informational thing than anything for you guys, if, you know, if you ever run
Right.
into it. I don't,
Yeah, he don't have a
Imagine you
problem, or
will,
he didn't have a problem.
no.
I mean, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about the
You do.
city,
Yep.
the land we have, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like we're in compliance with everything that we need to be, but we just thought we needed to reiterate that, just, I mean, because we do have some new council members, so just, you know, that we do require that, so.
Okay. Okay. Anything else, Lori?
Nope, I think that's all.
Earlene, new business?
No.
Aaron?
I'm good.
David?
I'm good.
You good? Tyler?
No, sir.
Thank you. Heather? All right, guys. Tim, you got anything else that you? Okay. All right, any, other business? The next chamber luncheon is August 10th. Please let Lori know, no later than noon on Monday, August 7th. So if you haven't let her know, you're late. So.
Yeah, I can add to that if I need to.
Yeah.
I know some people, like Tootie called me.
And,
sponsors at this time.
I've not heard anybody say it.
Who is it?
School board.
School board? That makes sense since school's just started
Yeah.
back, so.
Yeah.
Okay, the annual chamber dinner scheduled for September 21st from 5 to 8 at the Heavenly View venue. Please let Lauren know as soon as possible if you plan to attend, as we only have 8 spots available, so. Heavenly View, probably most of you know, is out
Clayton.
Tar Heel area.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you
I've not been
can,
there, but I've heard
I did talk with April, and you can bring, your spouse or, you know, a friend with you, however you want to do that, but it is $34 for whoever you bring.
Okay. Okay.
Who owns that?
We went to school with her,
She used to be at Harris.
yeah, I can't remember her maiden name, Billy. She's real estate.
Is she a Hartley?
Yes,
Joyce
Joyce
Hartledge.
Hartledge. She does real estate also, so. They've got a nice place out there. It's a classy place. Okay, if there's no other discussion, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Clayton, second by Tootie, all in favor?
Aye.